The Umbrella Academy finally has its own TV show, so to celebrate I thought I'd put together everything that you need to know before it's released on Netflix. Throughout this video I'll be breaking down all of the key information on the group as well as the graphic novel that is reported to inspire the first season. There will be heavy spoilers here, so if you don't want to know anything then I highly suggest that you turn off now, but for everyone else, I'm Definition and welcome to the channel where I watch it so you don't have to. The Umbrella Academy wears its influences on its sleeve, and from the off it's pretty clear that the books draw heavily from the X-Men. There's a school for the gifted, special powers, and it pulls a lot from the group of mutants. However, the stars in the Umbrella Academy aren't mutants themselves, and they are in fact a group of 43 superhumans that were given birth to by women who mysteriously fell pregnant immaculately. Sir Reginald Hargreaves, a wealthy inventor, adopts 7 of these very gifted children and at the Umbrella Academy trains them to become superheroes. Hargreaves trains them rough to make them tough and puts the kids through all kinds of punishment in order to make them the best. This has a negative effect on the group though, as they grow up to become pretty psychologically scarred and dysfunctional. The 7 children themselves are all equipped in different ways and each one of them possesses a unique skill set. While Hargreaves named them numbers from 1 to 7, they eventually carve out their own identities and pseudonyms. So, who are the heroes and what can they do? Well, number 1, or Space Boy as he prefers to be called, is the leader of the team. He's desperate to please his father and goes out of his way to do this at every opportunity. In the comics his head was grafted onto the body of an ape and he's pretty messed up and by far the most absurd of the group. Number 2, aka the Kraken, is pretty much the Batman of the group. He's an insane fighter with a dark and brooding personality that makes him a real tough cookie. The Kraken can also hold his breath underwater indefinitely, hence his name. Number 3, also known as the Rumour, is sort of the Scarlet Witch counterpart and she can alter reality by lying about it. Putting it down to brass tacks, she's definitely one of the most powerful of the group. Number 4 is the Seance, and as you'd imagine from the name, this character has the ability to communicate with the dead. He's the most morbid and is probably what you'd call a goth. To make matters worse, the character has died before but got rejected by both heaven and hell, so now he spends his time on earth moaning about it. Number 5 is just called Number 5 and his power source makes him the most unusual. 5 is a time traveller that is trapped in the body of his 10-year-old self, and this show clearly focuses around his journey to the future in which he witnesses the apocalypse. 5 was the original reason that the group split up after he mysteriously disappeared, so his return is what pulls them back together as a solid unit. Number 6, aka the Horror, had the ability to unleash monsters that lived under his skin. Unfortunately, the Horror died during an early mission by the Umbrella Academy and not much else is known about him. Last but not least is Number 7, who originally had no superpowers, which left her pretty much ousted by her father. She is an expert violin player and was recruited into a grand orchestra before becoming a supervillain known as the White Violin. So that's our cast of characters, but what role will they take in the show and what path will influence it? Well, judging by the trailer, the show seems to be sticking pretty closely to the first volume of the Umbrella Academy called Apocalypse Suite. In this we learn of the group's origin story, see them develop their powers, and the White Violin rises to the forefront. There's a big twist where she betrays them and the group end up fighting it out with her after it's revealed that she's now became the most powerful out of them. Whilst it's not a sure thing that the show will follow this exactly, it seems pretty likely and I definitely recommend that you pick it up if you want to know more. Obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show and if you're excited for it. If you enjoyed this video then please like it and make sure you check out my breakdown of last week's big Netflix release Russian Doll, which will be linked at the end. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.